welcome to Crushing Kayfabe. My name is Jason Garish. Thank you for tuning in, and let's see here. Aside from Elimination Chamber, not a whole lot going on, I guess, in wrestling, but that's enough, I guess. Let's see. Beautiful Perth, Australia, at least from what I could see. When did that go on Central Time? It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. All I know is I get up at 4 in the morning and I go to work at 5. So I wasn't about to watch that at work or, miss anything for that, unfortunately. But I did watch on the replay. I only had one match spoiled. Thank you, Facebook. But it was a match I pretty much knew the outcome to anyway. So it was the tag team titles match, which I knew Judgment Day was going to retain. Got every prediction except one right. I predicted Liv, and she was the second survivor in the Elimination Chamber. Obviously, Becky won, but so I was close. I was kind of close. It's one of those times I did not want to be right. I would much rather see Becky at WrestleMania. Much better wrestler. Wouldn't have minded Bianca or Tiffany is a little too new. They need to establish her character. Can't just throw her in at into main event at WrestleMania. That would be too much for her. But Bianca would have been great. A couple other girls there would have been good. But Becky won, so she'll be once again headlining WrestleMania, or not headlining probably, because I'm betting that they're going to do something in addition to the Cody Rhodes match. They'll either have Seth headline one night, or they'll I'm still thinking they might do some kind of tag team with The Rock and Roman against possibly Cody and Seth. Excuse me. Is it me, or is Seth getting like way too obvious with his support for Cody? I hope I'm wrong, but I'm sensing a swerve here. I'm sensing a heel turn from Seth, just because he just, every opportunity he gets, he backs Cody, and it's just it's becoming a little unsettling. I don't know if they're going to have some kind of tie-in with the old Shield thing, but maybe just maybe Seth is that bad of an actor. I don't know, but it's looking like they're making it almost too obvious, and that's what kind of makes me sense that might be a swerve. And so far, I noticed none of the other podcasters have said anything about that. Maybe I'm picking up on something that doesn't exist, but it's one possibility I could see them doing. Just because, like I said, Seth is being way too obvious with his support and being way too cheesy. And like I said, I don't know if this is a flaw with Seth. I got some crumbs or something on my AJ Styles thing going on here. Oh wow, that's a thread. Oh, that's not cool. I don't want my AJ Styles shirt to come apart. That's not cool. Let's see. So, kind of picking up on something weird there. Like I said, Judgment Day retained. No big surprise there. I'm glad they kept it on them. Men's Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble. Sure. Men's Elimination Chamber. You had Drew, and that was far too obvious. They were hinting at that way too much. I'm sorry. They could have thrown a swerve. They did have. They did have Logan Paul with the brass knucks come in there, and they could have done something additional with that. But he took out, what was it, Randy Orton, I think. So I don't know if they're setting up a feud between those two for WrestleMania. I don't like that. Then they set up something with AJ Styles and LA Knight. To tell you the truth, I want to see LA Knight going for a secondary title. I wanted so badly to see him go up against Logan Paul and get that at WrestleMania. That would have been great, but I think they really blew an opportunity there. I mean, don't get me wrong, Styles and and LA Knight is going to be a great match if that's what they're setting up for. But I would have absolutely loved to have seen LA Knight get a chance at a title. And it doesn't look like they're going to give him that, and that's really disappointing. That's really disappointing. Unless they do something beforehand with Logan Paul, which I don't. From a storytelling standpoint, I don't see it happening. I think I got a mouse in here. I hate that. I keep hearing something move inside here. It wouldn't be the first time. Usually, because this is the only room that the cats can't get into. So sometimes might as well hang out in here until they figure out that there's absolutely no food whatsoever inside the studio. So yeah, I'm hearing something in here. Either that or just something rustling around here, but it's distracting. Sorry. Yeah. So Styles Knight. Yeah. Like I said, good match. Knight has come out on top. I guess they're setting up that feud. I mean, what can you really accomplish with Orton versus Paul? I mean, you can have some good matches, but they're not gonna put the belt on Orton, I should say. So I don't know what the payoff would be for that. That's kind of weird that they would set that up. Seems like they should have gone the other way. One thing I did enjoy a lot was the interaction that Drew and LA Knight had. I thought they matched up very, very well, and I thought they had really good chemistry together. Two bruisers kind of beating the heck out of each other. I enjoyed that immensely. That was one of the better parts of the whole the whole pay-per-view, in my estimation. Getting over the stupid cold. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's something I wouldn't mind seeing in the future. Those two really made, I thought, put on a good show. Other than that, you had Logan Paul being a jerk and taunting Kevin Owens as usual. Kevin Owens did a choke slam for one of the Make-A-Wish kids, which I thought that was really cool. Kind of Kevin Owens. Let me reel this all back. I'm sorry. My favorite part of the whole evening was the pre-show when Kevin Owens was entering the arena with a koala bear. I thought that was hilarious. But bring it back to the Elimination Chamber match. I mean, like I said, that's I think they missed the boat, I should say. Kind of dropped the ball. They could have had a couple of really interesting feuds going into WrestleMania, and I think they dropped the ball on that. But the obvious winner that they've been building up was Drew, and that most people kind of saw coming a mile away. They set up that storyline a mile away. I think they've gotten into the feud though once CM Punk gets better and is healthy to wrestle. With the shirts and everything that Drew's been doing, I think that's setting up a kind of an insta feud when Punk does come back. And that should be fun. That should be real good, as long as Punk doesn't get hurt again. He's been real fragile since coming back. Kind of scares me, man. What's this guy been doing? I don't know if it's his training techniques or just the fact that he's older, but he seems to get hurt every time he's in the darn ring. Whether it was AEW or WWE, but previous to this, we could blame AEW for unsafe practices in the wrestlers, but now he's in WWE, and you can't say that anymore. Can't say that anymore. A much safer work environment, you can't say that. So yeah, we've got that coming out of the men's elimination chamber. The women's, like I said, Becky was the clear winner of that. I probably should have said that. I almost said Becky, but I don't, on a whim, I had a gut feeling it was going to be Liv, and I went with that. And obviously she didn't win, but she was close. You know, and that was one time, like I said, watching it, I was like, man, I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. Because Liv does really nothing for me in the ring. I mean, she's getting better, but I really don't enjoy her ring work at all. I don't. And I don't know where they're going with her character. So it's all kind of mystifying and kind of baffling to me. I mean, I understand why they have Liv Morgan in there, but just not enjoyable watching her matches, you know. Aside from that, you know, Raquel Rodriguez made an appearance, obviously in there. It's a real shame what she's battling with her autoimmune disorder. It's really bad. I don't think her face didn't look like it was. Looked like she might have had some kind of mild reaction, I should say, right during that match, or previous to it, and I think that's a real shame because she has a lot of upsides. You know, she's a bigger girl. She's believable in the ring. You know, she's a good baby face. She's not. Like I said, you look at her and she looks like she could beat up somebody. So it's you know, she's not as shredded as she was. So they need to change up that entrance. When she comes in, she does the lat flare. It's really exposing her because she's a lot softer than she used to be. She's not shredded like she initially was. So they need to change that up. I don't know why they continue doing that because it doesn't make sense with her current condition. There's plenty of other things you can do with her. I mean, she makes a real good baby face. You can do a lot of things with her. You don't have to do that one little lat flare out pose, and it's silly at this point because you know she's not as shredded like or ripped like Rhea or some of the other girls. You know, she unfortunate probably because of her condition, she probably hasn't been able to work out the way as she had in the past. So it's kind of exposing her. She just needs to eliminate that and add something else in there, and she'll be fine. But yeah, I enjoy her work in the ring, though. Like, I think she's got a bright future as long as she can stay healthy, which is a big if with her condition and everything, which is horrible to get that right after you get called up. And I don't know if this was a pre-existing condition. I don't know. I didn't pay a lot of attention to her in NXT, unfortunately. Or previous to this, so I can't say whether it was a pre-existing condition, but it's really sad that she has that, and puts a damper on what could be a real promising career. Hopefully she can work through it and be okay, because like I said, she's got a lot of upsides. I think really good upside. Got a good look, and she's good in the ring, and I think she cuts okay, babyface promo. She does what she needs to do. Put her in a tag team or something, she'd be perfect. She'd be great, or even upper mid card, We had the Grayson Waller effect, yay. Austin Theory making his comments about Outback and riling him up, because Waller kind of came out with a babyface reaction, as you kind of expect any local boy to have, which which makes sense, and Austin, and it was good that they had Austin say those things, because you knew that Waller wasn't going to get a bad reaction from the crowd. So having Austin Theory say those things was intelligent on WWE's part. Him being the big heel in that. The one thing that I was disappointed in, I know that, was it SmackDown or I think it was, where Roman called in Waller into his dressing room and had a talk with him. I expected a little bit more. I expected a bloodline ambush or something to come out of that, and that fell flat. I was really disappointed about that. I was hoping they would have something bloodline related in there. I know Austin has pokes with The Rock, yada yada yada, but I would have really liked to have seen Rock make an appearance, and I know that in Australia they were really hoping that The Rock would be there, and they're asking for him, and I think that would have been a good thing. I think they would have that would have lifted this pay-per-view up, because this was a fairly paint by numbers average pay-per-view. Otherwise, I really didn't see anything spectacular coming out of this. It just furthered the storyline. That was about it. Let's see. Other than that, I'm probably, like I said, I already did the tag team match. Other than that, you've got Rhea versus Nia, and you expected it was smart of them to have Nia go against Rhea, because no matter who was in the ring with Rhea, she was going to get the babyface pop. She was going to be the hailing local hero. So so it was smart to put Nia in there, because right now she's probably the most hated woman in WWE, and for good reason. I mean, if you watch, was it Stevie Richards who did that incredible video where he breaks down Nia's lack of technique in the ring. It's excellent, and he really displays why she ends up hurting so many people. And if you can find that on YouTube, please watch it. But that was my biggest fear, was that going into this, Nia, my biggest fear was that Nia was going to hurt Rhea. Because Nia does some stupid things. Some really stupid things. I mean, one of them during the match was she did not clear the announcer's table before she lifted Rhea into it. And I can't remember, was it a Samoan drop? I can't remember if she just slammed her into it, but that had to have hurt. Because there was like a phone on there, I think. There was monitors on there. She didn't clear any of that. She just dropped Rhea right on top of that. I couldn't really... The way that they had the camera angles, when she was doing like that drop off the ropes she does, I couldn't tell if she was holding on to the ropes or trying to lessen the impact a little bit. So the way that they shot it was kind of weird. They kind of cut out her hands on that, so I couldn't tell if she did or didn't. I'm hoping she did. But like I said, that was my biggest fear, was that Rhea was going to get hurt going into this. I personally, I never ever hoped this, but personally I was kind of hoping that, and Rhea, I think, is too much of a professional and too much of a company girl to do this, but I was kind of hoping she'd be stiff with Nia. I really was, because someone needs to cash in all those receipts from Nia Jax, and someone needs to teach her a lesson. I'm sorry. She needs to straighten out in the ring, get her act together. She can't continue to do the practices that she does, and someone needs to step in and take care of it. I'm sorry. I was hoping that Rhea might be that person, but like I said, she's too much of a professional to do that, I think. So, because I would have probably kicked her right in the head if that was me in there. But that would have been out of a job too, unfortunately. But she looked pretty rough and kind of unsafe in multiple instances. There's one where she did do a Samoan drop with Rhea, and it looked like Rhea landed on her shoulder, but she rolled into it, so I think she was okay there. But other than that, like I said, there were multiple instances where she looked kind of dangerous. All that aside, I guess, real emotional instance for Rhea. I know coming back to Australian wrestling in front of her home country was a big deal for her, and I really liked it, and great emotional moment there, having her retain the title. I'm glad she did too. I would have been upset if they had taken it off of her in Australia like that. I wonder, they probably would have rioted too. I think WWE's aware of that too. Storyline wise, might have made sense for them to put the belt on Nia. Because she's been coming in. There was some doubt in your head. I mean, they set her up as a monster heel. When she was coming in, disobeying all the rules and just taking people out. I mean, you kind of thought there might be some validity to her winning the title, but I'm glad she didn't. And I hope she kind of rides off into obscurity again. I'm sorry. Just, she's going to hurt somebody really badly in the ring, and I don't look forward to that. I don't. And Rhea's one of my favorite wrestlers, and I didn't want it to be her. You know, regardless of what WWE does at this point, I think they're going to have to turn Rhea face. She's winning the crowd over, and people love her. They're doing the kind of rehearse boo kind of thing, and but I mean, a lot of people have a lot of respect for her, and I'm one of those people, so it's hard for me to go out there and boo somebody like that. It really is. But like I said, thankfully, Rhea won that and retained. And other than that, that's pretty much. Unless I'm missing something, that's pretty much the whole pay-per-view. I watched it when I got home from work because I get home at 2 Eastern time. Well, I leave work, I should say, at 2 Eastern time. I don't get home at 2. But I put it on pretty much as soon as I got home and fast-forwarded through most of the pre-show. And sat and watched really long matches. I mean, I expect the Elimination Chamber matches to be long, but this was much longer than I'd expected just because of nature. What was there? 4 matches? Jeez. They should have done something more, like I said, with The Rock and with the Bloodline. I'm very disappointed that they didn't. That kind of makes this feel like a middle of the road pay-per-view, and the Elimination Chamber shouldn't be because it's a fun pay-per-view, I think. I mean, there's so much they can do, so many spots they can do with that chamber that it should never be a boring paint by numbers kind of pay-per-view. Other than that, like I said, it was just a kind of a stepping stone towards WrestleMania. But hey, make sure you catch out crushingkayfabe.com, crushing with a K. Check out Crushing Kayfabe on Patreon, where for just $1 a month you can get all the content ad-free, either the video and audio. And check us out on various social media. Like to throw a shout out there for Then Now. They're downtown Trenton, across from the square. Then Now Flea Market. You can pick up some of our merchandise and pick up some of the handmade goods from my wife. Great little store, and tell them Crushing Kayfabe sent you, please. And other than that, like I said, yeah, that's if you're in Western Tennessee. You can check them out in Trenton. Other than that, that's pretty much it. And thank you everyone for tuning in, and God bless.